Chardonnay True Crime fans, welcome back to another episode of Chardonnay True Crime. I'm your host, Dakota. With me, as always, is the lovely Kate.
That's me.
That is her. And tonight, we are here to bring you part 2 of Aileen Wuornos. This one is called Aileen Wuornos, Florida Woman.
Florida Woman Wednesday. You can't make this shit up.
Nope. Trust me, try as you might, you cannot make up the stuff that went on in Aileen Wuornos' life. I am accidentally cosplaying as Aileen Wuornos because I tread on a crop top earlier that got stuck. And so I asked Kate for a shirt that I could wear, and she handed me this. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm halfway through buttoning it up. And then I was like, oh shit, I'm dressed like Aileen Wuornos.
Sorry. It's the first shirt I grabbed.
It'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes you just accidentally dress up like the serial killer you're talking about.
Yeah, just normal stuff.
Yeah. That's just what happens on this show occasionally.
It just be like that.
Yeah, exactly. So tonight we are, like I said, talking about Aileen Wuornos part 2. This is going to be a very interesting episode. This is where,
where bad things get worse.
Yeah, truly.
Yeah, last week we were talking about the horrible early life of Aileen Wuornos, which was just full of sexual, physical, and mental abuse.
And today it continues. Today we're going to talk about Aileen's life as a drifter, her relationships, and some murder.
The murder is going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure. I have been waiting to talk about the murder for a little bit.
Especially like the first murder.
Oh my God. I have thoughts. I have so many thoughts on the first murder. You good?
It's my bangs and like all the dust I was
cleaning
today.
She was cleaning quite a bit, and I am proud of her. Yeah. So, anyways, when we left off, Aileen had just robbed a convenience store, and she was arrested for stealing $30 from the store. She was immediately arrested and put in prison, where she was disciplined 6 times for fighting. And after getting out of prison, Aileen, who had many pen pals while in prison because she had advertised in trucker magazines looking for pen pals, went to live with one of those men.
Wait, that's a thing? You can advertise for pen pals in prison?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, technically they still can. There are all kinds of websites for prisoners looking for pen pals, websites for prisoners looking for love, all kinds of stuff.
Oh, cool. So they can look for pen pals and love, but they can't vote. That seems totally fair.
That's America for you. Yeah. So Aileen got out of prison and moved in with Thomas Sheldon, her prison pen pal, who immediately realized that Aileen had problems. And for the first time in her life, someone actually tried to get Aileen help. I don't know if it's because she was genuinely crazy or if because she was too broken to accept help, but after Thomas contacted a psychiatric clinic to help her, the clinic refused to admit her because she claimed that all of her problems were his fault.
I've been waiting for an opportunity to say this since last week, but come on, Aileen! Come on! Like, this is the first person who's actually tried to help her.
Mm-hmm. It is, yeah. This is the first person that's actually tried to help her. So this guy, honestly, he actually sounds like the one good guy in a long history of people who used and abused her. And for his trouble, he got branded as the one who caused her problems.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, obviously, he, and probably for good reason, couldn't handle her. So after a few months, he sent her back off to Florida. So, what else could he do?
Oh, she truly encapsulates the epitome of Florida woman, doesn't she?
Yeah, she kind of does. So in 1984, she made her way back down to Florida, where she lived with another retired truck driver for a while, who described her arrival and her as 2 men came and dropped her off one day. She needed a quiet place to stay. She cleaned and cooked. I wanted somebody quiet because it's a quiet neighborhood. She seemed bitter somehow, but she always put herself together. She could have taken advantage of me if she had wanted. She did have a temper, but she was a pretty girl. And over the next few years, we can actually follow Aileen through court records.
What'd she get arrested for?
What didn't she get arrested for? In May of 1984, she was arrested for forging checks.
Oh.
Yeah, and when the time came for her sentencing in 86, she just straight up didn't show up. Yeah. So the court put a warrant out for her arrest.
Did Dog the Bounty Hunter come for her?
He did not. God, can you imagine that crossover? You're going to prison, brother!
Oh, God. Oh, you gotta show up. You gotta show up for court. Step on your crack pipe right now.
That's something that Dog the Bounty Hunter said.
Well, yeah, that's what he would do. If people had, and he was taking them to court, he would make them step on it and crush it, and then he would like pray with them, and like he was. I mean, honestly, he had the right idea.
Mm-hmm.
Like he had the right idea. Like that's the one time where I'll say, like, okay, yeah, because like he is praying for these people to get back on the right track.
You're right. You're right. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right. I respect that. I respect everybody's choice to pray to whatever deity it is that they need to pray to get the strength that they need to get healthy again. You know, and if Dog felt like that is the right thing to do in the moment and people were receptive to that, then good for him.
Dog, like, it felt very heartfelt. It felt very genuine.
I wonder if he only started the praying thing after he murdered that person. Yeah. On patreon.com/ChardonnayTC, where we will be doing a series called what was the new series?
Celebrities
Who Kill. Exactly. We will be talking about Dog the Bounty Hunter. We'll be talking about Matthew Broderick. We will be talking not about O.J. Simpson because we've already covered that on this show.
Maybe Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, Snoop Dogg. And then how he turned into like one of the most wholesome people on the internet. His friendship with Martha Stewart is wild.
It truly is.
Yeah.
We stand.
We stand a legend. We stand a couple legends in that friendship.
It's fine.
Okay. You're okay with that?
Yeah. I didn't.
Oh, well, yeah, I see why it's fine now.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's see. In 1985, she was named a suspect in the theft of a pistol and ammunition. The victim was a man that she had been sleeping with in exchange for food and lodging.
So another guy using her for another thing.
Unfortunately. But the thing that sucks is it's not just men who are using her throughout her life.
No.
Well, in 1985, she had her first relationship with a woman named Tony in the Florida Keys.
Ooh,
yeah.
Boy.
Tony was an Italian-American woman. The relationship was passionate, full of jealousy and physical violence. And at one point, the couple went from the Florida Keys to Orlando to buy the things that they would need to start their own steam cleaning business. Aileen claimed that it was her money that she had earned from prostituting. Darn tootin' prostitute. I hate myself for that joke, and I'm proud. I both hate myself for that joke, and I am proud of myself for that joke, and I am not sorry in the slightest. Not even in the slightest.
Oh, wait.
What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. You good? Okay. All right. So, that things could have been good for them at this point if the cleaning business had actually had a chance to take off. But unfortunately, Aileen came home one day to find that Tony had taken off with all of the steam cleaner equipment, all of hers and Eileen's things, and it left Aileen with only an oscillating fan and a phone bill for $485.
Yeesh. I mean, aside from the violence, like
Yeah.
that kind of sounds like a lesbian relationship. You know, starts fast, ends fast.
You're not wrong.
I
Yeah.
had one of those.
Yeah, yours ended in like the blink of an eye.
Yeah, started and ended in like 2 months.
Yeah.
And there was so much that happened in those 2 months.
I just remember you at one point, like, she decided to basically move in here. And at one point, you like hid in the bathroom and called me, and you were like, I don't know what to do. And I was just like, tell her to go home.
It was so like we went from not knowing each other existed to her.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, she lived like 45 minutes away,
Mhm.
and she didn't drive or have any means of transportation aside from me. So she stayed here like basically as long as she could, and like in her words, it was like to make the drive worth it. It wasn't.
She was also really bad at makeup.
She was.
She was one of those people that looks really shitty with like colored eyeliner, and she would insist on doing colored eyeliner all the time.
She couldn't get her lines good.
She couldn't even do her lipstick.
No.
Like, I saw a picture of her lipstick, and I was like, bruh.
Like nothing was like. Like I try not to be too critical because, you know, like if you feel cute, go for it. You know, do what makes you happy. But her
When you look like Hatchet Face in Crybaby,
that's a little mean.
to Hatchet Face. Hashtag sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, you never met her. You don't have to be. It's
Nope.
fine.
I don't have to be sorry. And she bitched you out about me. So why the fuck would I care?
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna go up to visit her one time.
Yeah.
And I talked to her about it. I was like, look, I'm gonna go visit her. It's gonna be probably like a week.
Yeah.
Like, you okay with that? And she said yes. And then the day before I was gonna leave, she was like, I feel like we need to talk about this because I'm 100% not okay with this. And I was like,
since when?
You know, I talked to you about, like, I specifically took time to make sure you were okay with this. So, yeah, she had issues.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, what happened next?
So, what happened next was Aileen borrowed an alias of Lori Grody from an aunt back in Michigan and got a ticket for driving under a suspended license while doing that. In January 1986, she was arrested again under her own name for auto theft, and she was bailed out and disappeared yet again.
But like, wasn't there a warrant out for her?
Yeah, so this was before different counties were talking to each other about that sort of thing.
Is this when counties started talking to each other? Because it sounds like they should have.
I mean, I would hope so, but I don't think so. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that started in the 90s. Maybe when Polly Klaus was kidnapped and killed, but like I said, I am not 100% sure on that.
That's pretty stupid. Like, why wouldn't they have been doing that? Like, since the police were invented.
Well, I mean, do you know anything about the Polly Klaus story?
No.
So Polly Klaus was a little girl in Northern California who was kidnapped from her room while she was having a sleepover with some friends. And they put out like a bulletin to like be like, hey, look out for this guy and this car. But they only put it out on one police like system. So the police in the next county over hadn't heard that they were looking for this guy, and they actually saw him and like pulled him over or something and then let him go. And then it turns out that he had actually raped and murdered Polly. And they didn't find that out till later. So I think that's when the APB started or something. I don't really know. But
why are the police so useless?
I'll just wait till next week when we talk about the police when it comes to Aileen, because I have a lot to say about that. Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure. If you know when police started to communicate between each other, please let us know in the comments. We would love to know when that actually started, because that is something that we are curious about. Personally, I think it was when Polly Klaus happened, but I'm not 100% on that. And then actually, interesting fact, so my friend's sister's husband actually dated one of the girls that was at that sleepover, like in high school. And he said that she had a lot of emotional baggage. And I was like, dude, I don't blame her. Yeah.
That's like a real like 6 degree story, huh?
Yeah, literally. No, so it's yeah, I'll tell you after the show. Okay. I'll tell you who it is after the show, because I've told you about him before.
Okay.
Yeah. But I don't want to like name him on camera in case, you know, he doesn't want people to know that, but he like told me about it. But I mean, it's like very similar to the people that I know who knew Jim Jones.
Oh yeah.
Same family. Yeah. Mm-hmm. A lot of weird shit happened in Northern California. Yeah. Anyways, so it's at this point that Aileen is angry and lonely and desperate for a change. And one night in June of 1986, in a Daytona lesbian bar called, oh God, it was called like the Zodiac Club.
Yeah, that sounds pretty lesbian.
Yeah. Sounds pretty 80s too, let's be honest. Like, that is a very 80s lesbian bar.
Just everyone in there. So what time were you born?
Oh my God. That's dating now.
Yeah,
that's lesbians now.
Truly.
And unfortunately, I know what time I was born.
I know when I was born at
8:30. I was born at 1:06. I was born at 1:06 on January 6th. Yeah. Nice. So like that's the only reason I remember. And like I saw my birth certificate and I was like, you're fucking kidding me, right? And my mom was just like, nope.
My dad likes to give me shit because I was born on 9/5/95. Mm-hmm. And he was like, you couldn't have waited until 9:05. And I was just like, I'm so sorry. Like, couldn't help it.
You should just be like, Mom, why didn't you hold it in?
Yeah, right? Just talk to your wife, maybe.
Seriously. Obviously, it's her fault.
I just flipped over and was ready to go. She didn't have to push.
I mean, same thing with your brother. She didn't really have to.
Yeah. He was very early. He practically flew out.
Did he have to live in the baby toaster for a while?
I think he did actually, because he was like 2 months early.
Ugh, that's not good.
Yeah. So he likes to joke like, you know, like, are you ready for this? And he likes to joke like, I was born ready, and just like, no, you weren't.
There's a joke like that on Modern Family, actually. Yeah. It was this season when what's his face, the guy who played Bender in Pitch Perfect. Oh, what's his name? Yeah, the douchey guy.
Is that his name?
Yeah, I think so.
The lead guy of the other rock. I don't think his name was Bender, but I know
what was his name. It starts with a B.
It's like his name's like Adam Devine.
Yeah, him. So that's the actor's name.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he had this joke, and like one of the characters in Modern Family is like, "You ready for this?" And he's just like, "I was born ready." That's a lie. I was born 8 weeks early or something like that, and it was pretty good joke. Anyways, so it's in this June night, very humid, hot June night in 1986, in the Daytona lesbian bar where Aileen first met 24-year-old Tyra Ty more.
Oh, is that the one you're trying to get a hold of?
So yes, actually, I did manage to find her on Facebook, and I did try to send her a message. For the record, she did not ever message me back, but I tried, and I tried.
In the words of Daniel Radcliffe, I tried and therefore no one can criticize me.
There you go. But anyways, Ty. Ty would be Eileen's girlfriend, her partner, and basically obsession until the day that Eileen, died.
Yeah, that sounds like a lesbian.
Yeah. So for Eileen and Ty, it was basically love at first sight. They started seeing each other immediately. Yeah, that is not what happened with us. They started seeing each other immediately, and at the time, Ty was working as a hotel maid and living with her friend Cami Green and her husband. And that is until Eileen started showing up and bringing the kind of lifestyle that Cami and her husband didn't approve of into the house. And that's not to say lesbians, that's to say a lot of drinking, a lot of partying, and these were Sunday barbecue kind of people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. These are the kind of people they would have Sunday barbecues and, family game nights and shit like that. And then there's Eileen and Ty who are getting drunk and doing drugs.
Yeah, they were Saturday night charade kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
That was a crazy night for them.
Yeah, that was. And meanwhile, Eileen was more of a Saturday night fuck and get drunk and start a fight in a bar kind of a gal.
So
honestly, yeah. I mean, honestly, doesn't really sound like, if it weren't for all the killing and being the lady version of Henry Lee Lucas.
Oh.
I know you do. I know you do. If it weren't for all of that, then, probably would have been a pretty fun person to hang out with, honestly.
She sounds like she would have just been like a stereotypical 80s butch lesbian.
Pretty much, yeah.
Just trying to be super tough. Just trying to be super tough,
yeah.
trying to prove herself.
Oh, yeah.
To be as almost trying to be as masculine as possible a lot of the time.
I mean, Eileen was the kind of girl who wore cut-off denim shorts and band t-shirts 99% of the time. Honestly, vibe.
Yeah, seriously.
That's a mood. I do that shit all, that is the kind of shit that I wear all the time. So I'm
that's the kind of shit that I would wear when I'm wanting to give off my butch vibes.
Yeah, well, I just am butch vibes, so.
Yeah. I'm versatile vibes. My vibes are all over the place.
Yeah, that's 100% true. So anyways, so eventually Cami Green and her husband asked the two to leave, and as a parting gift, Eileen stole Cami's driver's license and thus her identity to add to her collection of aliases.
Waste not, want not, I guess?
Why not? So throughout the years, be it in the movie Monsters starring Charlize Theron and Christina Ricci, or in books, documentaries, or just talking about the couple, people would assume that Ty had no idea what Eileen was doing, no idea who Eileen was as a person, her profession, or who she ended up being, really. But as Eileen points out, which we will talk about in the next episode, she told Ty everything from the beginning. Ty was comfortable with Eileen's profession, not only because she could make money fast, but because she used it to make the two of them comfortable, or tried to. And the two had a hell of a time spending Eileen's money on motel rooms, beer, and drugs.
I mean, what else are you going to spend money on, really?
I have literally no idea.
Honestly, that's pretty healthy, actually. She knew what she did.
Yeah.
And she knew that, that was her life.
Yeah.
And it had nothing to do with her. So
no. Oh, no. She was fine with the fact that Aileen was still sleeping with men to make money. Like, she was fine with the fact that Aileen was a prostitute. And, I do have to give Ty props for that, especially at the time. And, if I had been able to get in contact with Ty and if she had messaged me back, I would tell her that easily. I'd be like, you know what, Ty? I gotta say, for all the shit that you did, good for you for not judging Aileen for being a prostitute and sleeping with men and being bisexual. Because there's way too many lesbians out there who are just like, bisexual people are gross.
Yeah. We just support your local sex workers. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. Support sex workers.
It's work.
Yeah.
Sex work is real work.
Yep.
If you don't think so, fuck off.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, we're not here to talk about the sex work debate. We are here to talk about what was going on with Aileen and Ty. So over the next few years, Ty and Aileen would find places to stay with friends or pay by the week motels. And then Aileen would go out hooking to keep the money to keep them in hotels, or Ty would lie to people and say that she was just staying with them while bringing Aileen in for a night or two.
I guess, like, as one does.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there was like one time when one of Ty's friends had a 2-bedroom apartment, and she was like, "Oh, I need like one roommate." And Ty was like, "Well, Aileen's going away for work, so I'll take the extra room." And the roommate was like, "Okay, cool." So Aileen helps them move in. Aileen helps them, do all the things, being a good butch lesbian girlfriend. And then Aileen stays the night, and Ty's like, she just needs to stay the night tonight. And the friend was like, "Yeah, okay, that's fine. Like, if it's just tonight, whatever." And then Aileen would disappear for a couple days, and then a few days later, Aileen came back. You good?
Yep, something just flew into my eye. Please continue.
Okay. So Aileen came back, and this would happen pretty often where Aileen would like disappear for a few days and then come back for one night. And she always would leave with a gym bag, and she would always come back with a gym bag. And eventually, like, things just got a little bit too crazy because Ty and Aileen were drinking way too much. And the friend actually said that, later in interviews that, if Aileen was sober, she was totally fine. But if she was drunk, she was a problem. And the thing with Aileen is she was usually drunk.
Yeah, since she was like 12.
Oh, no. She was a heavy drinker by the time she was 12. She was drinking more than that before 12. Yeah. There's a difference.
Shit, you're right.
Yeah. So anyways, now, I feel like we've done a pretty good job of setting up where Ty and Aileen are together at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and skip a little bit to 1989 and the first murder.
I'm excited about this because you have been saying for a while that you have
It's because this one is fucking bullshit. And I honestly think that Aileen had a good reason to kill Richard Mallory, and I will stand by that statement.
Tell us why. For the record, we're not condoning murder, but Dakota is angry.
I'm angry. Yeah. I'm not condoning murder, but I am condoning killing sexual predators. And Richard Mallory was a fucking sexual predator. Richard Mallory was a heavy drinking electronics repair shop owner who had spent his time locked up for breaking into a woman's house and molesting her in 1957. He often traded sexual favors for electronics at his store with women. He would close his store up sometimes with little to no warning to go on a binge of drinking and intense sex. Now listen. I have absolutely nothing against drinking and intense sex. That's basically my Saturday night MO. However, what I have an issue with is violent sex that is non-consensual.
Oh, yes. Therein lies the problem.
Consensual violent sex? NBD.
Party.
Get it. Fucking get it.
But consent is the operative word there. Anybody who actually knows a goddamn thing about BDSM knows the mantra is safe, sane, consensual.
I've had one experience with a professional dom. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty great. And the entire time I have never felt more in control than I have in that exact moment. And like every moment he was like, stop. He knew it was my first time with a pro too. He and I still talk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, him. Great guy. But every moment he was checking in on me. He gave me plenty of outs and he gave me some really good aftercare. And it was a really good situation. It was one of the most healthy sexual experiences I've had in my life. And that's saying a lot because my life is not full of particularly healthy sexual experiences. Thank you. Anyways, so Richard Mallory some would say that he had a secret life, but he didn't keep his life a secret from those who knew that he enjoyed violent sex. He and his girlfriend had broken up, and she would later claim that Mallory enjoyed violent sex with the use of handcuffs, often. Something that Aileen would try to say in trial, but wouldn't be heard by the jury.
Fucking jury.
I mean, the judge.
Yeah, I know. The jury doesn't actually have anything to do with that.
The judge and the prosecution blocked all of the stuff against Richard Mallory that tried to be brought up by the defense. And that's something that I'm going to talk about in depth in the next episode, next Thursday. So come back to next Thursday to hear my thoughts on that, because
she's got thoughts on the moida and she's got thoughts on the trial.
I might actually end up prolonging this for a 4-part series, honestly, just because there is so much that we need to cover when it comes to the murder, including the person who isn't technically considered a victim of Aileen's. However, I truly do believe, along with the writer of the book Monster, which is where we got most of our information for this series, I would like to say, the book Monster has been a big part in our research on this episode and in part on this series. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you for letting us know. No, so the book Monster was written by Christopher Barry D. We use this as our go-to as far as the research goes for this series, and we do want to say that this book was very helpful while researching this series.
I'm just going to piggyback onto that because I didn't do any of the research. I'm just here to have a
good time. Yeah. All right. So, Richard Mallory. Sorry. So anyways, so this guy, he was an extremely secretive, paranoid loner. It's been claimed that he tried to change his looks many times. He was supposedly involved with an ambassador's wife. He tried to have plastic surgery so that he wouldn't be recognized. He was pretty weird. And he would visit, sex workers. He would go to strip clubs. He was into hardcore porn, and he used a lot of drugs, and he had basically no one aside from his ex-girlfriend. And, and basically no one Even the jury at Eileen's trial were aware that he had served the better part of 10 years at the state mental institution for the attempted rape. Yeah.
Sounds like a great guy.
Oh, awesome dude. So he decides that he's going to take a nice long weekend. He decides that he's gonna, he's just like, whatever, I'm gonna go take a nice long weekend. I'm gonna have some fun. And he closes up shop.
As he does, apparently.
As he does, yeah. And no one actually really cared that he closed up shop because it was so frequent of him to do. And no one even knew that he was missing until the police turned up at his business saying that they had found his abandoned Cadillac outside of Daytona, asking if anyone knew that something was amiss. And one of the officers claimed that no one gave a rat's ass. Sorry.
Oh man. Honestly, like, I can't imagine how that guy even managed to stay in business since he was literally like giving client shit away.
Yeah.
Just so he could like fuck people. Like, how do you keep your business running like that? Like, it's not like you have. This is the '80s. It's not like well, maybe TV commercials are a little bit more common, but like for like a VCR shop.
That's a VCR repair shop.
Yeah, like
not
like
even a
that.
VCR shop, a VCR repair shop.
Like his kind of shop is not the kind of place that's gonna be getting like a lot of commercials. There's not gonna be a fucking billboard for him. Yeah. The only way people are gonna find out about him is looking him up in the fucking yellow pages and word of mouth.
Yep.
And if you're giving people shit away
to sex workers,
yeah, which I mean, like, that's not the issue. He is the issue in giving their shit away. And like, the word of mouth you're gonna get is bad. How did he stay in business?
He was actually really deeply in debt.
Oh.
Yeah. he was in debt. So anyways, he decided that he was going to roll up from the Gulf of Mexico. He was going to head up and have some fun. And because he had been having a shitty week, there had been a lot of rain. He hadn't been getting a lot of work done. Wonder why.
We stop fucking people so much.
Yeah, just like,
or like,
chill, bruh.
Or like, don't fuck people at work. Like,
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
How hard is it to wait until you're done working to get laid?
He's a sex addict, so anyway. I mean, that's my thoughts on the matter. I don't know if he was ever actually officially diagnosed, but he had something going on with him.
That does make sense, though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, given the situation, that adds up because, like, he, like, he let it affect so much of his life.
Yeah.
So it does make sense that he was an addict, and like it was such severe stuff that he was into. Like,
yeah. I mean, it's pretty typical escalation at this point. He wasn't getting the kind of satisfaction that he was looking for from other places. So he just kept going further and further. And it's typical for that kind of person. And especially for that kind of personality.
Like, he already went to jail for this kind of thing.
Well, he went to a mental hospital.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a difference. But he spent almost 10 years there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was arrested for it and then went to a mental hospital.
He pled not guilty by
reason of like
insanity.
Yeah.
Not guilty because of insanity, basically. Yeah. So anyways. You good?
It just came out of nowhere. Okay.
Okay. Anyways, he's driving up to Daytona for a long weekend of drinking and fucking. He chose not to drive either of his.
Sorry, that was
Oh, I hate that. He chose not to drive either of his company vans, and instead decided to drive his Cadillac because it had a plush interior and tinted windows, which would be a lot better for getting laid in the car. Car sex. Anyways.
It is if you're not with someone fucking creepy.
Anyway. So it's just not whatever. Anyways. So he's driving up and he's brooding. He's smoking a joint while he's driving. He's drinking some vodka while he's driving. It's raining pretty bad. And suddenly he notices a woman on the side of the road with her thumb out. 3 guesses. Cathaniel.
Was it Jan Brady from the Brady?
No. 2 more guesses.
Was it?
It's the 80s. It's 89.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
Was it Pee Wee Herman?
No.
Okay. One more.
Although he is from Florida.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's from like right near Gibtown.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he told me about a New Year's Eve that he spent in Gibtown one time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he and I like bonded over like freak show stuff. It was pretty great.
That suits him.
I love him so much. Honestly, love Paul Rubens so much. He told me that if I had been around when he was doing Big Top Pee Wee, he would have hired me for the bearded lady instead of having a fake bearded lady.
And then she cried.
A little bit, yeah. No, but he actually has my picture in his living room.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Mm-hmm. He told me about that at a party one time.
Who else can say
Love
that?
him.
Who else can say that?
I can. Love him. I should email him.
Yeah.
I miss him.
You should.
Yeah.
I agree. I condone this.
I'm going to shoot him an email.
Okay.
Yeah.
I support you.
Continue. What's your last guess?
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Come on. You got this. You can do it. I believe in you.
Is it Aileen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Aileen Wuornos standing on the side of the road, thumb out, wearing a pair of cutoffs, a t-shirt, and a baseball cap.
Oh my god.
What?
I'm so stupid. I just figured out like where the nickname Lee could come from Aileen.
Are you serious? You just realized that?
It didn't click until literally right this second.
Cathaniel.
I'm just gonna do that here for the rest of
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Kate's having a moment, guys. R.I.P. Kate. Drop a Y in the comments for R.I.P. for her. She just realized where Lee and Aileen came from.
Well, okay.
Aileen Wuornos. Yep, there you go. There you go. No, stop. No biting. Dad not allowed. This is what happens when we get together.
Dumb shit.
Yeah. Truly. All right. Anyways, so he decides that, you know what, he's gonna pull over and he's gonna pick her up. So he picks up Aileen. He picks her up and you know, she starts hinting at sex because that was kind of what she did. She'd get in the car. She'd be like, oh, you know, I'm just kind of like trying to like make a little money, you know.
You know.
Yeah, you know. I'm just like trying to make some money. I don't know how do you think I should like make money?
Just anything. Oh my god, you're so funny.
Oh my god, you're so funny. God. Like vibrated like right on the crotch. Jesus.
Don't leave your phone on your crotch. This has been stuck in my head for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it has. Meanwhile, I've been listening to Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads pretty much nonstop lately. So, anyways, he picks her up. She starts making little hints about sex and everything. And Lee, at this point, has never killed anyone, like, knowingly, yet. Anyway, so, she had been on the road since 6 a.m. She had an argument with Ty, and she had about $250 to put down as a new deposit on a new apartment in Daytona. And she got into the car. Now, she was happy to take a chance on a ride, and he was going up to Daytona, which is where she was living. And as they moved, Richard Mallory asked her if she minded him smoking weed. She said no, and that he could do whatever he wanted, but she didn't touch drugs herself, which is a fucking lie, because Aileen was doing all of the drugs at this point. Yeah, she did drugs. Okay, ask me which drugs. Ask which drugs.
Would you care for a sip? Certainly not.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
That's an airplane reference. You can't get in very often.
You can't get that one in very often at all, and I'm proud of you for that one.
Thank you.
Yeah. Most of the time, it's a hospital. What is it?
Well, it's a big building with sick people, but that's not important right now.
Yeah.
My favorite is it's an entirely different kind of flying altogether.
It's an entirely different kind of flying.
And then like all the gay ones.
Oh my god, they're so good. What can I think of this? Ooh, it's a hat or a brooch or a pterodactyl.
How about some coffee, Johnny?
No thanks.
I love Johnny. Those aren't even the gay ones I was talking about.
But Johnny's the gayest gay to ever gay. So
truly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was talking more like, you ever seen a grown man naked?
Oh. Don't even get me started on those ones.
Oh, they're so funny.
Well, I mean, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Don't get me started. Yeah. So, anyways. So, where was I? All right. So, anyways. So, he had plenty of vodka in the car. So, they started to get friendly and get a little drunk. At one point, they stopped to get more beer and more vodka. He was drinking vodka. Lee was drinking Budweiser because of fucking course she did. Butch lesbian. Okay, listen. Butch.
Fair point, yeah.
You are into girls too, and you don't drink Budweiser.
But I'm not a lesbian. I'm queer, but I'm not full on lesbian.
Okay, that's true. I'll drink Bud if there's literally nothing else. But
Yeah.
I mean, I'd rather drink Coors than blood than.
Yep. I'd say that was a Freudian slip, but that was like a backwards Freudian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. However,
if I have to drink beer, I'm a Beck's girl.
I'll drink
like Beck's Dark.
I drink Michelob Ultra.
Mm.
It's light, and I can drink a lot of them before I get drunk.
It's bread water.
That's what I drink at the casino.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so I can still play blackjack while drinking. It's nice. Anyways, so at one point, Lee was pretty chatty, and he was not surprised when she asked him if he would like to have some fun and help her make some money. Richard Mallory replied that he might be interested, and Aileen would later say that had been her usual mode of operation. She would bring up the issue of sex, and people who had given her rides would actually testify to that. Now, here's an actual interesting story that happened to me this week. I found out that my godfather's mother gave Aileen Wuornos a ride while she was in California.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So I called her this week. I called her on Saturday. Yeah, it was Saturday. So I called her last Saturday and I was just like, hey,
What the fuck?
I heard this story from your son. Will you tell me what happened? So she was like, yeah, absolutely. And the details that she told me were very on brand for Aileen Wuornos. She told me that she was in West Hollywood. She had been driving my godfather to a class that he was taking because he was an actor. Um, it's why all the airplane references, because he was in the airplane, actually. Yeah. And that's actually one of the movies that Kate and I bonded over before we started dating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I grew up with that one.
Me too. Because of Ross. But anyway, so his mom tells me that she took him to a class, she dropped him off, and she was like, you know what, I've got a little time, maybe I'll like go to the mall. So she went to the mall and she said that there was like kind of a little loop that she had to go through. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like one of those like
one of those roundabouts?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
Okay.
It was like a half roundabout kind of thing where like you could drop people off. Like it was a taxi area.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I know exactly what you mean then.
Yeah. So she was going through that area to turn around and she saw this woman standing there thumbing a ride. And you know, this is the 80s, the typical time to pick people up. So she picks her up. And she gets in the car, they're chatting for a while, and the woman's like, oh, turn left here. And then they turn left and then turn right here and take another right and then take a left and then, you know, just kind of aimless. Which is it's a mockingbird. Which is fairly typical of Aileen, which you will find out in the next episode. And eventually they continue talking and they keep going on about this. And finally, after about 25-30 minutes, she says, listen, I don't mind dropping you off wherever you want to go, but I have to go pick up my son. So I need to get out of here. And the woman in the car says, oh, okay, just take a right here and then you can drop me off up at the next corner. So she does. She drops her off, and then about a year later, she saw her on TV and was like, "That's the lady I gave a ride to," and it was Aileen.
Wild,
totally wild, and it actually matches up. The timeline and everything matches up. So I will get into that in like the next-ish episode. Yeah, I think this is going to be a 4-parter.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Richard Mallory. He's got Aileen in the car. They're having some fun. They're having a good time. And at about 1 in the morning, or no, sorry, they're on Highway 1, but at about 5 in the morning, they are chatting, and Mallory asks Aileen if she's ready to make her money now. Now, Aileen would go on to say, my rights were pretty easy to understand, even for a drunk. Head for 30, $35 straight, 40 for 50-50, half oral, half vaginal penetration, and 100 an hour. Now, according to Aileen, she agreed to $30. So she was going to give him head, or she was just going to fuck him. Now, the evidence at the autopsy was that Mallory may have only opened his zipper. Now, his pants had been belted at the waist, and, Aileen claimed that he had just wanted a $30 blowjob. Now, Aileen was the kind of person who liked to take off her clothes all the way when she was working. Richard Mallory did not do that. Richard Mallory only opened his zipper. And then he grabbed Aileen. Now, this is as far as Aileen claims, but this is the one instance where I truly believe that Aileen may have actually been a victim. This is one of those moments where I truly believe what Aileen says. The evidence points to her telling the truth on this one, and I'm honestly furious that the jury didn't get to hear this.
Next episode for the trial.
Trial's episode 4.
Well, later for the trial.
Yeah. Anyways, so they swing off the 95. They swing off the 95. They drive to an area that she knew as Quail Run, which was in the deserted woodland area. They open their car doors, and she stated that Mallory gave her the money that she wanted, and she stripped. Now, usually she would ask the men to strip too and to remove their pants, but Richard Mallory didn't. At first, she said that she provided him with the service he requested, and then he attacked her. At trial, she changed the story by saying that he had refused to pay her anything, tied her up, beat her, and forced a blunt object into her butt. Ouchie.
Yikes.
Been there.
Yeah.
Now, she said she was sure that he was going to kill her, so she broke free and shot him. Now, when she was naked, the way that it goes, she asked him if he wasn't going to do the same. But he, according to her, just unzipped his trousers, rolled on top of her, and started kissing her face. Yeah, because he was super drunk. Because he was drunk. Yeah. So of course, being drunk, he was just like,
yeah, he was like kissing her, like on the mouth, on the nose, probably got her eyeball at some point. Just thank you,
like that.
One of these days, you guys will get to see us make out.
If you're lucky. Yeah. Maybe I'll do that on Patreon.
Yeah.
You better make sure your boyfriend's okay with that.
He is.
Okay. You've checked. I forgot.
Yeah.
Sorry, we cuddled until we fell asleep last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, well, we cuddled until you fell asleep.
Yeah.
But anyway, so he rolled on top of her. He smothered her face in kisses. Ew. And now, she was pissed. She was angry. She started shouting at him, and he started shouting at her, because that is Eileen's way. We all know that Aileen is not exactly the most, what's the word I'm looking for? Stable?
Level-headed?
Yes. Both person in the world. I mean, Aileen has very violent tendencies, as we have said, and a violent temper, which we have also said. So, she angry lady.
She angry all the time.
Can you blame her, though?
No, not with the way her life is
going. No, I don't blame her. Anyways, Richard Mallory rolls on top of her, and he's very forceful. Aileen succeeded in getting away from him, and she jumped out of the car, taking her purse with her. Now, we don't know the exact truth of what happened, but something happened in that car which made her mad. She had never been more mad before in her life. She'd been with tons of men. She would later claim that she had been with 250,000 men in her life, which is not feasible, and I will tell you why in the next episode. However, tons of guys had paid her for sex, and until that moment in time, she had not shot anyone. Anyway. Listen, So, Richard Mallory is chasing her out of the car, looks up and sees her standing naked with a small 22 caliber 9-shot pistol. If you say .22, I'm going to smack you in the face.
I wasn't going to say that. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to. It would be so easy to smack. Oh God, I did it. That's for earlier. That's for saying it earlier.
.38.
Oh my God, I'm gonna put a .38 in my fucking mouth one of these days. Do you want my kiss it better? You're welcome. We just get like 10 times more gay when we're around each other.
Facts.
Yeah, facts only. Which one am I? Eileen or Ty? You're Ty.
Yeah,
you're Ty.
Eileen. You're Eileen.
I'm Eileen.
I look more like Christina.
I didn't look anything like Christina Ricci. I showed you a picture.
You really did not.
Next week, when I'm back at home in Vegas, I will show you guys the difference between Ty Moore and Christina Ricci, and we will talk about it.
Ooh.
Actually, Kate and I are going to watch Monster while I'm here. It's going to be pretty great.
Question.
Yes.
What's worse? That or my
Don't you fucking dare! I hate you.
Next week?
Michael Shannon. For those of you who don't know and aren't following the show, Nathaniel, explain.
Alrighty. So, there's another serial killer who we covered.
Richard Kuklinski.
Yeah, I knew it was Richard, but I forgot the last name. And there is a movie about him called The Iceman, which was his nickname. And he is played in the movie by Michael Shannon.
However,
doesn't look a goddamn thing like the man.
Richard Kuklinski literally looks like the spitting image of James Gandolfini,
who was still alive when that movie was being made. When we covered him, when we did the episode about him, she pulled up a picture of Richard Kuklinski and then a picture of James Gandolfini, and I very genuinely was like, "Are you sure you didn't just pull up another picture of Richard Kuklinski? Because they look that similar."
And of course, James Gandolfini is dead now.
And so is Richard Kuklinski.
Well, yeah, but
right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he died in the hospital.
Should have checked. Yeah. Yes. Kuklinski died. Let me see when Kuklinski died. Nope. Pictured. Listen, I've had a lot of wine. That's my life. Okay. He died in 2006.
Okay.
Yeah. But anyways, yes. So long running joke on this show is that I am angry. And I will never stop being angry about that.
Yeah.
God, he was like 70 when he died.
Yeah.
Kuklinski, not James Gandolfini. But seriously, he looks like Tony Soprano. He does. It's ridiculous. He looks exactly like him. I will say this. No. I will say this for the movie Monster. I will say this. They made Charlize Theron look exactly like Aileen. However, Tyra Moore looks nothing like Christina Ricci.
I understand that she is not the main character.
They didn't even try.
That doesn't mean you don't try.
They did not even try.
Like, I love Christina Ricci, and you love Michael Shannon.
Bruh, I have a really deep love of Michael Shannon ever since I first saw him on Boardwalk Empire, because I like the twisted fucking psychotic ones, because that's my type. Kate knows this.
And yet you dated me.
Yeah, I know, right?
I was a weird fluke for you, wasn't I?
Listen, when it comes to girls, my tastes are different.
That, you know what, that's a fair point.
Yeah, my tastes.
Girls are different.
Girls are really different. I am a little bit more of the dominant person when it comes to my relationship with girls.
Also, it's
like Lee in that sense.
Also, it's just so easy to fall in love with girls. Have you seen girls?
I saw you.
Oh, God.
I saw you, and then I dated you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girls are pretty fucking great. That's the general consensus.
Pretty much, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, that's the story behind my hatred of the casting of that movie. And I am going to show Kate Monster, and Kate's gonna show me a movie. And you're showing me what, Oklahoma?
Yeah.
She's gonna show me Oklahoma, and I'm gonna show her Monster. That is our deal. There we go.
I'll see it.
So, anyways, Richard Mallory looks up and sees Aileen standing naked with a .22 caliber 9-shot pistol aimed straight at him. He asked, "What's going on?" Now, this is all from Lee's memory.
Get out of the car.
Lee demanded. You know what? I'm going to be Lee. You be Richard Mallory.
I'm much better at
you be Richard Mallory. Go ahead.
What's going on?
Get out of the car! Yeah, see? Yeah, that's better. He hesitated, and then he moved over to the passenger seat. When he got to the doorway, she backed up so he could get out. He tried to lunge at her, but she shot him in the arm with a .22. Bang! Ah, we both reached for the gun. Bang! The gun jumped in her hand. I don't believe that for a second because I go shooting. Okay, I don't believe that the gun was like, yeah. No. If you know how to handle a gun.
But she never shot anyone, remember?
She'd never shot anyone, but that doesn't mean she's never shot a gun before.
Well, in like the middle of a scuffle, you know,
the gun's not gonna go bang all of a sudden randomly. Like, it's not like the first time you're ever shooting. You know how to handle a gun, and it's not her first time shooting either. She grew up in fucking Michigan.
That's true.
Yeah. Like, come on, bitch knew how to shoot. All right. Anyways, so she ended up shooting him 3 times at first. So she shot him in the arm and then shot 2 more times. And he was pretty much mortally wounded at this point. And she had hollow nose bullets, which are fucking insane. That's just overkill at that point.
What's the difference?
So a hollow nose bullet will break apart inside of whatever it hits. So there's a lot of shrapnel.
Oh!
Yeah, so hollow nose are known for curling and breaking apart. So
don't they?
Normally a bullet goes in like,
and they're like
they're
kind of pointed.
Yeah, exactly. So normally a bullet goes in like this, right? Mm-hmm. So with a hollow nose, they go in, but then they do that.
Oh,
so they cause a lot more damage inside. Yeah.
Yikes.
Uh-huh.
I'm out of wine. I can't even take a yikey sip for that.
I'd offer you mine, but I know you don't like my show.
Yeah, you know.
You just like pulled away.
Yeah, you know, I'm just gonna be like,
mm-hmm. You got a Seagram's in the fridge, so you can drink that later. Yeah. Anyways, so at this point, Richard Mallory has been struck in the side of the neck above the collarbone.
Oof.
He has both of his lungs are collapsed and blood is pouring out of his body. Meanwhile, Aileen got dressed and chose what she liked from his belongings and then squatted down and watched him. Oh, and after about 10 minutes, he finally died. Yeah.
Oh, I hate that.
The next day, Richard Mallory's Cadillac was found abandoned near John Anderson Drive at Norman Beach, a short distance from where Lee and Ty were staying. The police that were out on a routine patrol stopped to examine the vehicle parked in a two doors were open, the interior light was on, and peering inside, they noticed what appeared to be bloodstains behind the steering wheel, but there were no signs of either the driver or any passengers. John Bondi, the county deputy sheriff, would later testify on December 1st, 1989, in the course of a routine patrol at about 3:20 p.m., I discovered an abandoned vehicle in a wooded area of John Anderson Drive. I conducted an inquiry around the vehicle looking for a driver and failed to find anyone in the area. He also added that the vehicle's ignition were not in the switch, but numerous items were found a short distance from the car. Partially buried in the sandy soil was a blue nylon wallet containing Richard Mallory's Florida driving license, some papers, credit cards, and two plastic tumbler glasses, a half-empty bottle of Smirnoff vodka, an empty bottle of Budweiser, and a red car caddy, along with some other items, which suggested that Mallory may not have been alone.
Why didn't she just like throw that stuff in random garbage cans along the way?
Because she's fucking stupid. She has an IQ of 81. Yeah. Like, honestly, her IQ is 81, for God's sake.
I forget about that.
Yeah, I would drive that shit to another state and throw it away.
Yeah. Don't put it anywhere near it, man.
That's literally because I put way too much thought into this kind of shit.
Yeah, it's like, I'm not the kind of person who often thinks about, like, you know, if I killed someone, this is how I would go about it.
No.
But, like, when we're doing the show, when I happen to catch my dad in an episode of Forensic Files, I'm always just like, come on! Like, how did you not think to do it this way?
Yeah. I'm an alcoholic. What if I told you? I have told you that.
I should stock you up before you go home.
Yeah, right? If I had money, I would. So anyways, so an examination of the driver's seat would reveal that it had been pulled forward as far as it would go into a driving position that would have been extremely uncomfortable for a man of Mallory's size.
Hey, you don't know, he could have just driven like a dumbass.
Like Vanessa. When I was driving down here to San Diego from Vegas, I literally watched a UPS driver for a while just driving like this on the steering wheel, and I was like, bruh, are you okay?
If you hit anything, you're gonna break your arms.
You're gonna break your arms, your back, your collarbone.
Yeah,
Because like when the fucking airbag pops out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Anyways, so
I just thought about you popping your collarbone.
So occasionally, like right here will crack for me, and whenever it happens, I text her to let her know, and she hates it.
So upsetting.
She heard it one time on the phone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, "What was that?" And I was like, "It's just my collarbone." And she was just like, "What?"
I think I cried.
A little bit. You got really upset about it.
Mm-hmm. And every now and then, like, my tongue will do that thing, and I tell you about that every time, but it's just because I know you'll laugh because I hate it.
Oh, I think it's amusing. I try to make my tongue do it on purpose.
It's so gross! You're gonna spit on me through your tongue, and I don't want to be a part of that.
Okay, so I'm only allowed to spit on you if it's on purpose, right?
Exactly. But not like that.
This is what happens when you get two fucking queer girls together and you let them drink a lot. I drink a lot. She drank a glass. This is what happens. This is what happens when you let me drink a lot with this bitch, who's my best friend. My best friend. That's how we fell asleep last night. Was like this.
Yeah, but your beard got in my eye.
Oh, sorry. Anyways, so oh fuck, I know, right? Anyways, not abnormal. So, further examination of the vehicle revealed a pair of prescription glasses under the front seat, and the trunk had the impression of a toolbox which had been removed. The car was dusted unsuccessfully for any fingerprints, any of them. And the next day, on December 13th, Jimmy Bonchi and James Davies, who were out scavenging for scrap metal along the dirt road off I-95, made a gruesome discovery. They had found Richard Mallory's corpse at a spot roughly 5 miles across from the river from where his car had been discovered. Volusia County deputies who responded to the 911 call saw a body that was skeletonized from the collarbone to the top of the head. Wild animals and insects had enjoyed a feast.
His brain was gone.
Honestly, that is what I want to happen to my body. Like, I've filled out the paperwork already. Oh, fuck, I forgot to bring that with me. I was going to have you and Scarlett be witnesses.
Oh, damn. Yeah. For the body farm?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah. It's fine. Next time I'm out here. Or next time you're out in Vegas, I'll just have you sign the paperwork.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, anyways. So they had found Richard Mallory's corpse at a spot roughly 5 miles across the river from where his car had been discovered. And a set of dentures lay on the ground next to his corpse. Charles James Lau, an investigator with Volusia County, saw an immediate autopsy of the unidentified body and recovered 4 bullets from its torso. The hands of the victim were removed and transported to the crime lab for a latent print examination because, as Lau would later explain, when we have an unidentified body, you can't roll the fingerprints because of the decomp.
Oh, yeah, you have to, like, reinflate the hands, basically.
Yeah, so basically what they do is they submerge the hands in, like, a saline, or they inject them with, like, a saline solution, basically. I learned about this when I did forensic science in high school, because I did 3 years of forensic science. I dropped out when I was a junior. But I did 3 years of forensic science in high school. So gross. My fingers still, like, super visible. It's disgusting. So they inject the hands with a solution to make, it's like a plastic and saline solution to make the hands puff out like this so that they can roll the fingerprint. I didn't even get close. They can roll the fingerprints so that you're actually able to see the fingerprints. This is actually something that I remember, like, learning the process of.
I learned it from Law and Order SVU.
I learned it from school. Actually, instead of, like, doing, like, regular science class, I did forensic science.
That's cool. I wish I'd had that option.
It was pretty great. Anyways, so at Eileen's trial, the medical examiner would describe the removal of the body to a local funeral home on the night of the 13th of December. Most of the bodies were sent to the hospital, but the decomp of this body was too severe, and on the following day, the clothing was removed and sealed in a bag. And it was pointed out that Richard Mallory didn't have any underwear on. And when he was when James Downing was questioned about the zipper, he claimed, "I didn't notice the zipper," when he was asked if the zipper of Richard Mallory was closed or opened. However,
he's just a medical examiner.
Yeah, he's just the MI. Why would he notice that? I mean, I guess technically you would have to make a note of that. But anyways.
But the zipper being open has, well, I mean, like, that is nothing.
They do have to, no, I remember this from forensic science. You do have to make notes of everything that you notice in every state of, like, clothing, if the clothes were bloody, if the clothes were opened, like
mismatched buttons,
opened or closed, mismatched buttons, any of that you had to make notes on. I remember taking tests about this stuff. However, this is, for the record, 1989, so I think it's understandable that this stuff wasn't exactly, like, noticed at But this is far from the last person that Lee killed.
In fact, this was only the first one she killed.
This was only the first one that she killed. Now, there are 6 more officially. In my opinion, 7 more. And I will explain why in the next episode, because the next episode is going to be entirely about the victims of Aileen Wuornos. We're excited about that, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So tune in next and Thursday.
Yeah.
So tune in next Thursday, our usual time, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Let us know your thoughts on this case so far. This is only part 2 of what we have decided is going to be 4 parts. Because honestly, I think that Aileen deserves 4 parts. You think it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Aileen deserves 4 parts. So yeah, this is part 2 of 4. Keep an eye out for part 3 next week. And until next time, say goodnight, Kate.
Good night, Kate.
Good night, and
love women.
Love women. Women are the best. We will see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.